What's up? There we go. We're live.
We're
Morning, Karen.
live. We're alive and we're alive.
That's what I was curious about, to see if you were still alive. So,
Still alive. So far, no symptoms of the flu.
yeah, it's weird when there's stuff going around and then you start to question, do I have something? Is it a something? Is it a nothing? Do I start loading up on vitamins to try to like squeeze it out? Yeah, this is a whole thing. It's been a rough year for that too, at least so far. How are you other than that? Checking in.
Oh, I'm doing okay. Yeah, how would I say I am today? I have a very full schedule of tasks today. So I made a point of lining up my tasks so that it felt like I was prepared to be here.
Yeah.
And I notice when I'm like that, I get very scattered. So I look around and things are half done. It's very interesting how my personality, what it does when it's under stress. So, and that's not an efficient way to work. And I know that. And I look around, I can now laugh at myself and go, oh, yeah, I can see you're stressed here, Karen. Maybe you should slow things down and finish that task, then move on. And then once I get myself back in that rhythm, I go, yeah, that's a lot smarter way to work. So yeah, doing okay today. Cool. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I have determined I'm useless during this period of the year. It's kind of a joke. It's just my focus is somewhere else. So during the CrossFit Open, all of my attention seems to go there. Like I think about it. I'm going to compete in it. I'm going to see if I can do the best I can. And if I don't do as well as I thought I should have done, I'll do it again. So we're 1 week in and I've already done that. So if anybody's familiar with delayed onset muscle soreness, so DOMS, I get them really bad and I usually get them worse the second day. But I did the workout and I did it to a standard that was too hard. And I held the same people that I judged to that same standard. So I felt really bad that I held them to a standard that it wasn't. And then I ended up redoing the workout to see if I could do better with the easier standard. So I was already really, really sore. And I redid it on Monday morning. So I did it Friday night and I did the same workout Monday morning. So I got DOMS on DOMS. So I haven't even, it hurt to walk. I'm used to it hurting or being really uncomfortable going up and down stairs, but walking seems like that's a next level problem. Anyways, I did it to myself. So my attention is in one zone and I have a trouble giving my attention to other things during this 3-week period. So not useless, just focused singularly. But other than that, I'm doing great. So last week we did the value of alternate perspective, and it didn't go the way I anticipated that it would have gone, but we didn't talk about what I had envisioned anyways. So, and I'm not even sure I was as clear as I wanted to be on that. So then you suggested, why don't we do it again? You can do it your way, but we could do it in a coaching conversation. And I actually didn't respond to you on purpose for like at least a day because I was trying to process, how am I going to do this?
I don't remember saying there's a coaching conversation. Is that what I said?
I think so. I think so. Did I read into it wrong? Dyslexia is a real son of a gun sometimes. So sometimes I read into something that's not there. Is it not?
It's interpretation, right? There we go. Perspective. I just said a coaching, how you use it in a coaching conversation. But it's okay to demo it in a coaching conversation. It doesn't matter what way we do it, but so that you could, to talk about, well, why is like this other way you're going to show an alternate, approaching a coaching conversation as a practice of using an alternative perspective.
Right.
Whatever works for you, Ian.
Say that again.
So whatever works for you, Ian.
Okay, but now I've put you on this spot that you need to have a coaching topic. So I know you said you had one. Are you still okay with doing that?
Yep.
Okay. I actually think this will work out well. And because I've figured out, anyways, I'm going to go through the visual just really briefly, just to describe what it is that I'm trying to accomplish in this.
Okay.
And then what people can expect over the next 25 minutes or whatever. So if I want to share screen and share, I'm still working out how to do this. Okay. Oh, I guess I could have preloaded this. All right, share screen, window, this. Is it going to show? Or am I showing all of my screen?
I don't see anything yet, Ian.
I don't see anything. Why does it not see that? All right, let's try it again. Stop share, share. Oh, maybe I have to click on this. Share screen, window. Did this work? It says it's sharing a window, but I don't think it's sharing what I think it's sharing. Stop share. Here, let me try one other thing. Media. Maybe this is not going to work right now. Okay, so I'll just describe it. So in some of the workshops that we've done, Karen, we've often used the river metaphor as a way that we describe a coaching conversation and how not to get entangled and into the topic itself. Because oftentimes when we're in a situation where somebody maybe really struggling, we want to dive in and support them. And from a coaching perspective, it may not be the best place to be. So this metaphor, I've got a coach standing on a bridge overlooking somebody who's floating down the river, and that person, they're in their topic, they're in the water. So what I try to do is to try to offer up questions and ways of understanding, helping that person understand where they are, so that they can make the best next decision for themselves. Because if I dive in, I may actually be becoming part of the problem with them, trying to help solve it or save them. And I trust that we all have the best answer inside of ourselves for ourselves. So ultimately the goal is to provide a broader picture of everything so the person can make the best next decision for themselves. So I actually have come up with now a list of things that provide that alternate perspective. Now I'm not tied down to one in particular way to get there. So now I feel I have freedom to do this. So what we're going to endeavor to do is to do a coaching conversation. I do not know what Karen's brought to the table. I will coach her through her topic. And after the conversation is over, I'd like to deconstruct it a little bit and see, was I able to provide some way for you to see it differently to help you uncover your next step? And I'm fine if it doesn't happen, but I'm hopeful that it will. We will find out.
But it's not your job. It's my job to decide if I'm going to find one.
No, but when you try to force something, you try to put a square peg into a round hole, it just doesn't work. So I didn't want to force it to be that way. And in my head, I only had one way. And now I have like a half dozen ways that it could happen. So now I have freedom to just be, and we'll see what comes out. And if it happens, I'll point it out. And if not, I'll go through the list of what I had and say why I think those things are supportive. So I figure we're good anyway.
Okay, cool.
I think I'll set a clock for, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Ish. I'm not going to hold it hard and fast to that, but just to give us an idea, that's where we're shooting. Okay.
Cool.
All right, Karen. Do you have a topic for us today?
Well, I'm going to start off with something that has been swirling around, and then I'll dive into the reason why I'm using this statement. There's a statement: the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
I need more information, but keep going. Okay. What is the main thing?
what that means to me is that I can often spread myself out so thin that I lose sight of what's important
Mm.
to me. What is the main thing that I need to keep the main thing, the main thing? And what I'm noticing again, and this is a pattern, this is something I get back into, is for example, the situation I'm in right now, I had agreed to do something for the curling club, which I had a major role in. I let go of that with some conditions of agreement of how that would unfold. And that was done in November. And then the conditions of agreement really changed. And I'm now left with a good chunk of a responsibility on something that I said I would do, but it had a lot of support and all that kind of stuff. And the individual that took over my role decided to book a 2-week trip before this big event. So then now this person's away, and it's fine. Everybody deserves, we're all volunteers to go away. But now she's gone. And so the questions for the primary person are coming to me because I'm the one that has the knowledge. And so I'm now feeling responsible. There's the word again, Ian. And it made sense. I look at this person's stress. It's a big event. It's her first time. She wants to walk through. She's not sure what to do. And I know I have, done this particular task, Bonspiel, for 8 years. I know how to do it. So here I am now back mired in it. So, but this pattern happens more often than I feel like I'm attracting it. So you're right. I feel like there's something about me because it's too often. It's replicated, and this, Ian. I've talked about this. So I'd like to dive into kind of talk about how I'm seeing this, which is why I felt this topic would be really helpful for me to work with you on, looking at it from different perspectives. Because it's not serving me. And what I notice, and this is what I do not want to be, my goal is ease and lightheartedness. That's what I'm practicing this year. And what I find is I get a little resentful. And that's not an energy I want to bring into my relationships or into my body. Is that helpful?
Yeah. So how are you seeing it right now?
How am I seeing it right now? I still feel the same way. It's a really good question. I'm using the word feel.
I noticed.
Because it's really how I feel that's driving what I'm doing. Well, actually, I'm doing it. So I feel like where's my boundary? Yet I know at the same time, I felt in this particular situation, there wasn't a choice. So I feel like I get in these positions and I have no choice.
Why do you feel that you don't have a choice?
Well, I guess maybe because of the work I did, the career I had, the role I played as a manager, I think it's disrespectful and irresponsible if you have a person that doesn't have the knowledge and the ways in to do something. And I know that, and they are very, very committed to doing a good job. Withholding that isn't an acceptable thing to do. It's not an option. There's the word. Because there's a human over there that needs this to be successful or to feel confident. So it's not negotiable for me. That's just who I am. There's no place to deflect it to. Because the individual went away on holidays. Right? So there's no backup plan there. But maybe there is. I don't know. I didn't there was no other thing presented to me. It individuals coming to me saying, can you help her? And it felt like, well, yeah, it would be so, it just felt like there wasn't an option. But that's not uncommon for me, that I get there quicker. Like I just say there's no other option.
So what would benefit you today in this conversation?
Well, maybe what would benefit me is to rewind the choice of saying yes to help way back. And what if it started to be more boundary setting of saying no? Like, I feel like, do I slide into this in a way that it's hidden somehow in me? So, like, even as I talked back then, I felt a little tightness in my stomach, and I realize now I should have said no, but I'm way too far into it.
You mean now? Like you can't back up the bus now? Like the train has left the station? Is that what we're saying?
100%.
For this version of events.
So what, I don't know, like, it's just, to me, is I feel like I need to resist helping. That sounds like a terrible thing to say, but limit. And that's what I'm saying. The main thing is, maybe I need to draw where I'm looking. Do I need to kind of write down, who am I going to invest me into for my time and energy and support? The who's. Maybe I need to downsize that.
Who are they?
The who's would be, this is why it just came up based on your question. I have to think for a minute.
No, I'm going to let you write. I want you to think about who they are.
I cut out a few people. Does that help?
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so who's important?
Well, I have my family, so I can say their names: Vera and Vance, obviously my grandchildren.
You can say XYZ person. It's fine. It doesn't matter to me as long as you know who they are, right?
Yeah. So it is a smaller nucleus of family than I would have originally probably wrote down, and that's it.
And why is it important that these who's are on your list?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I think if I look at all the names that are there, it's give and take. It goes both ways. That's number one. Number two would be, there are two names on the list that they're at a time where they've been givers. Now the giving back is there. They need support. It's not even, that's probably the only two that are, I would say, like I said about the not negotiable, right now, that's not saying, down the road that couldn't change, but right now that's important that I support them. So it would be a non-negotiable, but the rest could be negotiated, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
How much I'm going to invest, which makes it feel a little lighter. But as I write these names down, there's a lot of names that I could put on the outside that I can say, well, why do I feel responsible there? Why do I say yes there? That's a really good question.
that you asked yourself? I know, because I was going to repeat it back to you. Can you repeat back your question so that
Yes.
everyone?
Why do I say yes there to the external names that I haven't written them down, but I don't think the names matter.
That's situational.
Yeah, I think really what's important is that maybe with what I just wrote down and you asked is I even got a circle around the names just so you know on the paper, my nucleus.
Yeah.
Is maybe that's where remember I said the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Well, there's my main thing.
And what rule? So what came to me when you were talking this entire time was rule book, because you're like, yeah, I have to do this. It's like it's a non-negotiable. I'm basically, and I'm thinking, what's the rule book that's written here? Who decides the rules?
Well, of course I do.
But you said earlier, I had to help. Like this person was stuck and no one else has the knowledge that I have. It's irresponsible. I think you said it's irresponsible of me. It's funny that you use irresponsible as opposed to responsible. It's irresponsible of you not to take responsibility in that situation.
Yeah, and I don't feel that feels aligned to me though.
Okay.
I don't feel misaligned when I say that. However, saying it though is under what conditions? Right? So you talk I love the word that you said rule book, because maybe those rules need to be written out. You know, like be a little clear about what is my, they talk about the word playbook. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds much nicer than rules book, which maybe that might be what it's called, the playbook.
And by the way, sorry, I'm just going to point this out to you. You told me that you want to be lighthearted in this. So what if you were able to create your own playbook?
Yeah, I like that. Well, that's why I changed I realized it sounded a little. However, this is important though. In order to be, I wonder if there's two books. Maybe I need a bit more rigor for myself. Like, containment.
A frame. Like you help for Mark and I when we do workshops, you help provide the frame and we get to play inside.
Right. So I wonder if there's some value in, hey, that's a thing I do naturally for others. So in fact, as we speak, I'm designing a logistic framework for the person that I'm handing over to. So I know that it really serves people. Why aren't I using it for myself? So I like the idea of having this, framework. Maybe it's a framework. And then there's a playbook. I like playbook. I like that. So maybe the framework, the rules framework. And I know it sounds like I'm being harsh when I say rules, but I think I need to be harsh with myself. I feel I need a bit of a framework of rules so that I can look at them and say, okay, wait, this is how you want to play. This is, there's rules in curling. I was
just going to bring up curling myself because you're such a curling fanatic. But yeah, you need a box. You need that sheet of ice. You need some very specific rules so that you play within the same framework. And then you can do what you want inside of that for the most part.
Right.
Curl this side, curl that side. Do what you need to do with the brooms. As long as you don't have those egregious rules of hitting the rock or touching the stone with your finger on the way past the hog line, whatever the case may be, if anybody's watching Olympics. Cheaters. So yeah, if you can frame that and then play your game. Yeah. So what I would ask, what rules or what frame do you need so that you can play?
Hmm. Sounds pretty brutal what I'm writing down, but I'll
Hey,
read it to you.
do you mind sharing what you've written?
No, I don't mind sharing what I'm. But that was a hard question to answer. Like I would want to sit with that. This is my first cut, but I would. One thing it had a time around it. It would take no more than 2 hours of my time. I don't know why I picked that number, but I did. And that, but in order to do that, I'm going to block in my calendar free time. So my rules are that every week I'm going to block free time so that it works. So this and that it's on my. So the third one, and this is when I have those two things in place, it's on my terms. It feels very selfish. However,
Don't say that like it's a bad thing. As we've said for, I don't know, at least 12 years, be properly selfish.
Yeah. So that would be a start. Anything outside of my circle, right? So that would really limit, which isn't a bad thing. We would start to set for me maybe a bit more or less sliding into something that I shouldn't have to. I wonder if there's this little like voice in the head in some people because of what I've created. I'm not blaming anybody else but myself. Just ask Karen. She's so good. She'll help you. Mm-hmm. Like, I wonder if that my habit, I'm easy. I'm not a hard ask. So putting some, rigor around that would, invite me not to be able to say, I can't, sorry. I'm blocked. I'm booked this week, because my calendar will be booked because it'll have blocks of time that are supposed to be for me. So that structure, like the roadmap, the things I do, it's a reminder. I need a reminder. I don't go in my phone and go, oh yeah, I'm free. Oh, it's Karen time on that day. Wait a minute, Karen, are you really free?
So I have two things here. So is there anything else you feel you need to help you hold this boundary?
I don't think so. I mean, I've already got enough people telling me I shouldn't do it.
That's obviously not the problem.
So, I feel like I'm a structure person. So for now, this would be a good start because I've been better. As you know, I've worked on my self-care a lot better lately, going back to the gym, making sure there's fun time in my life. But I think what I'm realizing is I want more of that it's time for more, especially as I can, in the spirit of the care of the people I want to care for. So I'll still be able to feel like that sense of nourishment that I get from supporting others. But now I've narrowed down the who. So it feels a little bit more balanced for me, Ian. And this other piece, though, will be my visual triggers. Like I'm going to type it into, my phone. I'll probably have it standing up somewhere. When I usually start a practice, it's on my fridge so that it's visually there. Like, don't forget, here's your practice.
If you like that idea, what I've drawn on my paper is a house. Like the curling house. Your nucleus is your family, your precious time that surrounds them, and whatever that 2 hours framework looks like for you. The only thing I would add is that to ask you to maybe think about how are you going to stick to that 2 hours?
I've actually just made it a little more rigid.
Okay.
No more than 2 hours a week.
Oh, I figured that's what it was. So that was my
No,
bad for not asking.
no.
But what keeps you to that? Like, I mean, that's what I'm at, that 2 hour window. Like, how does that work? Do you need to offload? Like, what's that 2 hour? How do you stick to your 2 hours?
Mm.
And I don't think that's a now question to answer, to be honest. I want to leave it with you.
I think I feel like I got to go play in the sandbox right now with my practice. And I would definitely, this would be a follow-up coaching conversation to say, well, no, but really, like, I feel like it's enough. Like right now I feel, I think I got it all.
I don't want to go anywhere with this.
Yeah, like I feel like, okay, I got it. Now, when I go and play with it, will I go, oh, whoa, that didn't go so well because I got, I slid off and what happened? Do I need to add something else in my rules framework that's going to keep me aligned to what I'm trying to accomplish here?
You need some guards in there, right?
Yeah.
So you got something to slow you down.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to try what I have so far. I feel like it's complete. I'll draw up something for me visually so it's there for me to check in on myself every morning, and see how this serves me.
Cool. Thanks, Karen.
Excellent.
Thanks for bringing something. Amazing how it comes back to curling all the time.
Summer it'll be golf.
Well, whatever but you're not involved in organizing things for golf, are you?
Oh yeah, I don't organize meals. Well,
is it a golf and curling club? Is that your thing? Is it like a golf and curling club?
No.
Oh, they're two separate clubs. Okay.
Yeah.
We have that in
So we don't even have a club, but yeah. No, but I do I'm an organizer, right? So I do organize the golfing, but the summer I'm not too concerned about, but however, there may be other parts of summer that have nothing to do with golf that I'll have. This will be a framework that will need to be transferred into, what happens after, March 27th.
Cool.
How does spring and summer look like? So it'd be interesting to see if there's maybe a shift in the rule book based on where I am in the seasons.
Seasons of the year or seasons of life?
Seasons of the year.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thank you for bringing something to the table. Now, if we were to break that down a little bit, was there anything in particular that happened in that conversation that you felt helped you shift your perspective?
Well, getting me to write down the names was really, I think, the biggest shift, because what shocked me was who I didn't write down. And I didn't want to. I had no urge to add to the list. So that for me was really helpful. Did you ask me? You asked me a question. Why do I say yes? I wrote it down.
Where did I ask that? Yeah, something like why? What makes you say yes, or something like that.
And I wrote it down, and I don't know why I wrote it down. It obviously was important in the moment for me to write it down. But maybe that's where I realized the rule book needed to happen. Maybe it was my springboard, Ian.
Yeah, I think, there's many different ways I think that alternate perspective can come into play. I like metaphors. So playing with the metaphor of a rule book, and then you're like, I don't know if it's a rule book was too harsh. So then you're like, I like playbook. I want to play, but then playbook's not hard enough. So what do I do with that? So even the playfulness of playing with imagery can be really helpful. We're talking about curling, the curling house. Like there's ways that you can get people to immerse themselves in imagery that I think helps loosen up where they're at and see it from a different way.
Metaphors are huge because people will remember metaphors, and especially what you do, and it's really important in metaphor play that you pitch a metaphor over and it either lands or not. And
True.
So people, it really strikes them or not, and then let them reshape it. Like I said, and then I went, well, I'm going to have two. I'm going to have like a framework. So I changed the metaphor to something else. But then you gave me the gift of keeping the playbook.
Well, that's what you glommed onto anyways. You mentioned it's what you want more of. So why wouldn't you grab onto that? I just have to be okay not being attached to whatever the thing was. Like I was going to dive into rule book probably 5 minutes before I said rule book. But I'm like, no, I need to let her play in this a bit more before I throw something out. So I actually restrained myself from giving it to you because I felt like I was maybe going to insert myself too early, even though that's what was in my field of view as a potential. So I just wrote it down on the side, and if it came back, I could use it. And if it didn't come back, I was fine letting it go. Oftentimes I'll also ask people to look at their situation from a different vantage point. Like, if this continues, how do you see this playing out in the future? So that they're seeing it from like an end game kind of perspective. Like, oh, if I keep doing this, I'm going to keep missing family events and I'm going to whatever. So they start to see maybe how this could drag them down. And okay, if that's the case, okay, what can I do now that's going to maybe shift that?
Right.
But it looked like you already had kind of that already. Like, I know what my big why is. My big why is my family and spending time with them. And this takes me away from that. There's another thing I was thinking about assessments, because you were pretty firm early about it's irresponsible of me to do this and not help out. So I really wanted to play with that, because when we get stuck in a kind of a single view of what something is, it can close us off from being able to see other possibilities. But you shifted pretty well. So I didn't feel I needed to hammer you on that too much.
It's often deep in values, right? That's when you can pull out like, this seems like a really important way of being for you. And how come? Where does that come from? And you'll often get like, this is who I am. Mm-hmm. And this is something that is important to me. So, then how do you just said, you figured out that, I mean, I obviously said it, but it allowed me to say, but do I need it everywhere?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do I have to have that on all the time? So just someone being able to catch their own way of being is so important. I think you just nailed it. I think what you do really well, Ian, is you discern, what needs just to sit there and let it be right now, and what's something that might be a little more malleable in this moment. Mm-hmm. Not challenging it too soon, or getting curious about it. So noticing what do they want to talk about?
Yeah.
And yeah. That's just the following where I was going, which you did really well.
You led me down a path. Good job.
I didn't know where I was going.
But that's perfect. And that's what I want people to know, is this isn't staged. I had no idea what. Now, curling is a very popular topic with Karen. I get it. But this is a place that she has, a frequent occurrence with. So it makes sense that it's going to come up. You bring yourself to every situation. It just happened to be that you're at the curling club a lot.
Well, and I think in roles that you play, like, because of the role that you play. So this can be really, you can see it in many aspects of your life. Like, this opens up, how I am as a mom, how I am to my siblings. Like, we play these roles, and then all of a sudden this role becomes, That's Karen. She'll help. She's good. She knows. See, just to be, I'm very reflective right now of, where this shows up in the ripple effect of my life. So I'll have a lot to, process as I kind of look out at the world in this way now, with a bit of structure around a framework, to notice where Karen shows up, especially in these, long-term roles that she's been in.
Yeah, easy to slide back.
Really easy to slide back.
Yeah. Cool. Great. Good. So I'm hopeful that was helpful for you to see it from a different perspective. Not necessarily what I was. Sometimes when I think about alternate perspective, it's because they have a story that they're bringing, and I'll bring a similar story, but from a different vantage point, how it's worked out for me. So, but that's not necessarily coaching, but it's in storytelling. Sometimes I think that's helpful to know that, okay, if I can look back at my journey, I can see the value of what that was bringing to me. And oftentimes for me, that look back is like, oh, okay, like this is not the end of the world. It's going to be fine. I'm going to learn from it. I'll be a better person for it. And then I'll be able to help other people with similar stuff. But that's not necessarily coaching. So this was good. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Ian.
Don't know what's coming next, but we should be back next week at a similar time talking about more coaching stuff.
Have a great day.
Take care, everybody.